when he sees the last spade, he's like, "Fuck this shit."
He did have a jack.
Even though he gave me the
in
queen.
his defense, he does have a jack, so he wasn't.
I did
Yeah,
have a
of
jack,
course,
though.
yes.
Yeah.
He did have the
Fold.
jack, yes.
Yeah, so
He did have the top
good
pair.
hand.
Fold.
Good hand.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Fold. Call.
So yeah, we were talking about the
Call.
stream. The stream
Check.
needs to hear the
The flop.
table. Look, like these conversations we are having,
Check. Check.
they're missing a
turn.
lot. Just talking about the Baba.
What is
whatever
Boba?
that
I don't even know what it is. Is it a Star Wars thing?
I have no flipping idea.
I don't know. The only thing I know Boba is Boba
Bet.
from Star Wars.
Exactly,
That's
yeah,
my only
yeah.
thought.
Yeah.
Boba Fett.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
Just 200,000, and
I mean, it's a lot. Think
you know,
about it.
I'm gonna pay to see your cards.
I
what
have
else?
something.
Showdown. One
Okay.
pair.
I don't lie.
I called you with my deuces. I knew I was beaten, but I just wanted to see your cards.
Very fair.
Why are you making it 200,000? It was like, wow.
It was
Why?
only 600,000 pot.
Okay.
Call.
Plus, I had a lot of cards over me that beat me. So you know, I'm trying to, you know.
Oh, you got the money, right? So.
I've been
Player
watching a lot of
folds.
crab videos,
Player
trying
folds.
There you
to
go.
really tighten my game up.
Yeah, because it's working so well for me.
Fold.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Call. The flop. Bet. Call. The turn. Bet. Raise.
You bet. I should have just pushed harder.
Player
I'm not
folds.
doing it.
Good fold.
Never doing it.
Good fold. Jacks or queens?
what the hell is this? Jam pack? What the jam
Fold.
pack sound?
Yeah.
Fold.
I need to turn the volume down on the
Call.
stream.
And there's the high rollers pack. High rollers pack makes sense though. It has 15
Yes.
chips and the watch and all these different things. It makes sense. I got that one.
Raise. Call.
Wonder, you call, I call.
All right, fair enough. dude.
You guys can give me your money. It's totally fine.
They're
Fine,
muted
okay.
on the stream.
Thinking about the Baba.
Player folds.
What is Boba? I don't even know.
Fold.
Come on in.
That's a call.
Thank you.
Yeah,
The
hell yeah.
flop.
If Wonder calls, I call.
Check.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
Bet.
They have no idea that they are muted.
They're muted on the chat.
Now they have
Yeah,
sound back.
Ah, right.
That's a call.
Okay.
Player folds. The turn. Check. Check. The river.
See, the only
Yeah.
problem what I have is now I'm watching the stream and I'm watching my cards and I'm like, I got the fucking nuts.
It's very difficult.
And
If you're trying to do that, play them both. There's a real knack to it. But yeah, if you're
that
not,
happened to me too. I'm
Yeah.
hearing like boom, somebody go all in, and I'm
10
looking
jack.
around.
yeah.
Went all
Yeah.
in. Like, what's happening?
but I was looking like I got ace king and I'm like, oh yeah, and there is good. Oh yeah, I need to do it. And I'm like, oh no, don't do nothing.
Call.
Exactly.
Fold.
It's
Yeah,
really hard to
Fold.
focus on the two.
Oh, it can. Well, the interesting thing, talking to Chris about it, he's never played like that before. Because although he's played on telly like a billion times, he's obviously never seen his cards. What the hand was 3 minutes later, so he was finding it
Press the button here.
peculiar. So I don't think he only watches it if he wants to see what's been happening. But
Fold.
yeah,
No,
yeah, it's
no.
very unusual.
Oh
Player
no.
folds.
It can get in your head. Mind you, it's the same for me when I'm streaming and I know people will watch. That when I'm streaming and I know people can see my hand 3 minutes later, or maybe can, that's really
I wasn't gonna
messes
lose.
with your head.
Like I didn't care how much I
just-
won
I
from him.
just-
I just didn't want to lose.
Because you know if you bluff, they're going to find out a couple of minutes later if they're watching.
I
It's
smelled the
peculiar.
smelled the high pocket pair.
Fold.
Good fun though. Adds a whole nother layer to the
Fold.
game.
Fold. That's a call.
The problem with the small
Call.
pocket pairs is when
Check.
everybody folds,
The flop.
your card might be in one
Player
of those.
checks.
You know.
Yeah, I looked into that. There is a small but not insignificant impact of that. You're not right. You're right. You're absolutely right. Similarly, if you get lots of callers and you've got ace king, you're less likely to hit the ace or the king.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Player check.
Yeah. It's not
The river.
not enough to make a big
Check.
difference, but it is a difference.
Check. Check. Bet.
That's good. That's good.
Who did that? 300,000. Nope.
Crab is punching in the numbers.
Just run the numbers. Didn't like it. Bailed out.
Call. Fold. Showdown.
How's the bankroll, Cupid?
Somebody has a 4.
It's exactly that was the voice in my head. Sounds like that all the time. Did you watch my badly lit stream earlier? I was hiding in a corner of a room streaming live to camera. It's fantastic.
Raise.
Wow.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Wow. That's a lot of money.
Call.
Not really.
So anyway,
You're
my
priced
favourite
in.
tea is green tea.
You're priced in.
It's green and it's a tea. And there ends the tea talk. There will be no further tea talk on this channel.
Raise.
Yep. See you later.
Fold.
I'll see myself out.
Raise.
Oh yeah, baby. Do it.
Let's do it.
Oh, there we go.
All in.
Yes, the
Oh,
ace.
There we go.
God. You guys
That's a
both have
call.
pocket pairs for sure.
Here's
Yeah, I
the
have
flop.
pocket pair. Oh.
Kings.
Oh my lord. Oh, game over.
Game over.
Good night, Vienna.
Game over.
Nice hand. Nice
Yeah.
hand.
Nice hand, man. Nice.
Showdown.
It had to
Full
happen.
house.
Yeah, it had to.
I have
Oh.
pocket eights for the record, so I made the right fold. Pocket eights.
Yeah.
No good. I knew somebody here had the pockets as well.
Bro, I'm sorry. This is. I'm really sorry. I don't usually
No,
mean. I'm sorry,
what's
but
there to be sorry about?
no. I mean,
You
it's
had
the better
because of
hand.
you. I mean, you know how much I like you.
Why
Not
couldn't
love,
why
Oh,
why
only
not
couldn't
because
have
of
it been
that. Oh, only because of that. Okay.
aces,
Fold.
No,
queens,
no, no.
king, aces, queens? Tell me
That's
like
a
an eight.
call.
It's okay. He was also sorry
That's
when
a
he took
call.
my money with the
Fold.
pocket eights versus my pocket
The flop.
aces.
That was
No, but
only.
look, This
Player check.
my
that was just a
point
little
is
bit.
that
Little bit.
I
That was
never felt I never feel
27
sorry
million.
if I take some
Bet.
bully's money.
No, it
But
was
Wunder is a
16.
genuine
Player
nice guy.
fold.
no 26.
Yeah, it was 16.
Fold.
Was it?
Trust me.
Was it only
He was there.
16?
It was like 16. Yeah, it was not much.
Well, still 16.
I mean, it
is-
was decent
Fold.
amount, but it was. I just lost more than that.
Well,
Doesn't affect the leaderboard though.
No, that's the nice thing about playing here. You haven't got to worry about any leaderboards. If you've got the money, you can just you can play without. It's got the feel of playing a real cash game because of that.
That's a call. Fold. Fold.
No, I'm just nervous I'm gonna throw 30 million chips in
Raise.
by accident.
Call.
Been there.
Oh yeah.
Fold.
It
Fold.
happens.
Oh,
It
were you
happened to some guy.
were you watching the stream earlier?
Keep saying
Here's
all
the
in, all in,
flop.
and then he went all in.
I
Got
Unfortunately, no.
stupid.
Player check.
I don't think it was great, but the the flop came out all clubs. I had 4-3 and it
End
was
turn.
no, I had 5-3 and it was 5-3-2 flop. Anyway, Chris had flopped the straight.
Bet.
I didn't see him bet, so I min raised accidentally, and then he 3-bet me, which enabled me to fold. But I made like the correct fold. He said he flopped the straight. We did. He flopped the straight.
Call.
But I only got away from it
River.
because I accidentally min-clicked him on the flop. Had I not done that, I'm fairly sure I would have stacked off. So, yeah.
Player bets.
Wow.
It looked like a genius fold. It really wasn't
Well, I'm
a
hoping
fantastic
so.
play. It was
Fold.
it was awful.
I'll be reading that.
Yeah. Oh, I styled it out like I'd made some kind of super super fold, but
Only
it
reason I
really
was
wasn't.
Jack 4.
If the last card wasn't the heart, I was going all in.
I know, but I would have
The last
folded.
card, yeah, last
Then
card,
I would
last
have
card showed
folded.
the hearts, and I'm like, okay, fold it.
Raise it.
It's good for the stream. I showed them Jack 4.
Yeah.
Oh, you did? I didn't see that.
Yeah. Well, no, it's gonna
Fold.
come in 3 minutes.
No, okay.
Fold.
Must be getting to the end. Whether I don't know if they're going to come raid my stream.
It's almost. I think it's almost done. Yeah.
Yeah, my stream's up and running. I should get a few come across even if they don't raid.
You win.
Oh, it's almost 4. They cannot stop before 4. I mean,
Fold. Player folds.
I'm sure the Jack 4 is not gonna come on stream anymore. They're gonna probably stop right.
Call.
Yeah.
Raise. That's a call.
You thinking, Doctor?
Oh, sorry.
Well, wait till the. So thanks for coming over. I think I see
bad.
Bob and I see Cameron in the chat there.
Sorry.
Once the mainstream finishes, I'll start talking about this evening and having to
That's
think
okay.
about how I played and whether I did the right things and what I thought of what happened. So
I have a
yeah,
feeling that Vunder is
I'll
going to
keep it
pick
quiet
up
for a
more.
minute or two until the other stream finishes, and then I'll
More.
we'll see whether I did the right thing with the pocket tens or not, and we'll have a look at the leaderboard and see how much everyone won and lost.
Nah, I'm
Player
gonna chase
folds.
for 2 harder.
You can say that. I got like 70 people
Fold.
watching you right now.
Call. The river.
Oh.
Check. Check. Showdown. 2 pair.
You know what I folded?
Nice one.
Those 3. You can see it in the stream in 3 fucking minutes.
Why'd you fold it, man?
Yeah.
Because 700 fucking some 3 flop, those 3 offsuit. What the hell is wrong with you?
It's high stakes Saturday, not fold pre-flop because you don't want to put some money in Saturday. That'd be useless.
I'm trying to play like a
That's
relaxing
That's
trap.
cheap.
Yeah.
I'm trying to play like a relaxing trap.
Yeah.
Folding the crappy hands.
Fold the crappy hands.
Call.
Exactly.
Check.
Yeah.
The flop. Check. 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 The turn. Bet.
Bree.
Player folds. Fold. Fold.
Nice. Oh, very nice. Nice bet.
Well done, well done.
Oops, sorry.
Fold.
I was checking the cameras on my daughters.
The stream is done. So we just
Oh, well, they're not raiding me. Oh, yeah, we got a few people. I've not been raided though.
Fold.
Right, let's post.
Up to this hand.
Let's post.
Good to sit
Player
out.
folds.
It's good to sit out now.
Call.
you have to get a drink, sure, man.
Yeah, cool, mate. Yeah.
Folds. Fold.
Okay, the stream is
The
over.
flop.
Now we can talk shit.
So how did my
Fuck you. No.
So,
Exactly.
am I
Fuck you
able
up.
to suck dick now? Can I suck your dick now? Really?
Yeah,
Because
Oh my
Okay.
god.
I really want to
Alright,
suck
okay,
dick.
bro. We have a lady. Don't
I don't
forget.
give a shit. I fucked her.
You're on my
already.
vodka. You're on my
Vodka,
stream.
streaming.
I'm streaming.
Streaming on this.
Oh, sorry. I have to be quiet. God damn it. Oh, fuck.
You're not wearing a badge.
I know. I was just putting it on. I was just getting my badge out. He's so quick with the foul. I think you.
Look at
They weren't. That's good. In 3 minutes, everyone see that. Oh, here they come. Here comes everybody.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, they just made it in time. That's fantastic.
Check.
Yep, 49 people from the other stream have just arrived for that in perfect time. So yeah, I'm going to have to apologise in advance for Dr. Vodka. That's absolutely fine.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
Why?
Belgians. What can you do with them? You know.
Fold.
What the hell?
Suck dick.
God damn it, you. God damn, you crazy. Oh.
Well, I hope your wife was not watching his stream.
God.
Oh my god.
Why do I have to watch an advertisement on your stream?
Fold.
You shouldn't have to.
Advertisement.
Really? You shouldn't have to.
Yeah.
Fold.
Oh, I shouldn't have them switched on.
Raise it.
It's kind of expensive for this hand, but who is in? Oh, too many colors behind.
Fold.
Welcome to the Lucky VR people. Just come across from the uncapped game from High Stakes Saturday. Thank you to Turtle and Ian. We'll be here for an hour or so, I think, with the after game, as I desperately try and make up the money that I lost in the main game, and try to keep Dr. Vodka from swearing too much, which could be
All my shit.
a bit more than I can handle.
Every last one of my shit he said I played one, so.
That was a fantastic game of poker. Really enjoyed that. Hope you did too.
And you win with it?
Bet.
We had a bit of everything in that stream. We had FB playing crazy, shoving a lot. We had some really interesting hands with Chris. Some great play from Bree. Really chuffed for her, winning a lot of money. Yeah, some really interesting stuff. And of course, from my point of view, we had a loss of, here it comes, 120 million. It's Dr. Vodka swearing has just hit the stream.
Oh, damn it.
Yes, mate, you're right.
Fold.
Oh,
I know. Well, that's okay.
Warren just left. Okay.
Oh,
Okay,
apologies again
Arrow coming in,
for Dr. Vodka. I'm not responsible for any swearing. This is why Cupid keeps quiet. He's got a potty mouth as well.
The fly.
He's been clipped. It's been clipped.
Check.
Astonishing. Absolutely astonishing. So anyway,
Oh, boy.
welcome to my
I
stream.
just
If you've
got
not
shit on
been,
the stream. That was fucking funny.
if you've not been here before, I tend to talk through the hands as I'm playing them. I try and talk about what other people are doing, what I think that they've got, you know, a bit of strategy to do with the game.
Clear check. Check.
Well, the last couple of days it's kind of descended into farce with various hilarity. Yeah, so let's go through who won and lost at High Stakes Saturday. I was sitting here the whole time. Chris Moneymaker, after being 150 million down at the start, ended up 304 million up.
He's
I
explaining
know.
his viewers. He's explaining his viewers that
Yeah.
okay, you know, calm down. Don't queue up.
Yeah, 304 million up.
Sucking anybody's dick, you know?
Exactly.
Don't get excited.
True underdog, left a couple of times, so I'm not sure if he was up or down. I think he might have been down a wee bit, but he won a few big pots against FB, so I kind of lost track there. So he may have been a winner, but certainly got involved in some huge pots.
I want to get my dick sucked by Dr.
Daxid,
Vodka.
he was here for the duration,
He's still streaming.
2.8 million.
He's still busy.
Just about broke even, played well, and we think had aces on his last hand as he said he was going to leave. And yeah, just won a tiny bit. Dr. Vodka's just joined us. NF42's not been here that long, hasn't really played many hands, although 64 hands, no big pots. Cupid, break even. Antoine left a couple of times, and he says he's about 60 million up, played really well. Remy Waters, loose cannon bust. Vunder, down 41 million. Just entered in a big pot with Antoine, Kings versus Queens, all in pre.
Player
Myself down 121 million.
No,
You know, could have been a lot worse. And
Even-
the way this evening
Money
played,
is more
I could have
important
won
than
a couple of 100 million.
no,
I was unfortunate with a couple of rivers, but that's the way it goes. I, for the most part, played decently.
Definitely didn't name this
When things quieten down a little bit later, I might talk about the big hand where I 4-bet Chris Moneymaker with 10s. He 5-bet shoves me with kings, and I call, which I pretty much had to do with 100 million back in a 320 million pot.
Terrible,
So quite
right?
happy with that, but
I told him it's a
interesting hand nevertheless. And FB, who must have lost
$500
million
million
across the entirety of the
This is
evening.
how we fight.
So we'll listen to these lunatics talking now. And again, this is a adult stream, so there may be some language which young people or others find offensive.
the Hawaiian shirt.
Fold.
Right, Wonka?
Call.
Alright, enough
Check.
of that.
Mr. Wyatt, how you doing?
What's up, buddy? What's up?
All good, all good.
Check. Player
And
check.
you put it in the store
Check.
just to tease me so everybody can wear it.
Bet.
I told Jordan 2 years ago this is my prop I wanted, and he put it in the store.
Thank you, Rowana. Appreciate the follow. Thank you, Hit3Q. Appreciate that.
I volunteer in
Uh,
real life.
Thank you, Casey. That is extremely kind of you. Very much appreciated. Let me
Yes, he put
switch
it in
on the.
game. He goes, thank you for the great idea.
Let me switch on the big leaderboard.
Yeah, everybody.
What you get when people do that kind of thing. Bang, there we go. That pops that up there. Should
Maybe
appear
we'll
on there
make
very
it
soon.
cool and I can make it
First time.
backwards.
Check.
First unlock.
You know?
It is backwards.
No,
Bet.
not my fire cap.
Call. The river. Check. Check.
Enough.
Showdown.
So, really interesting table now. We've got some extremely good poker players sitting here. In fact, when you look around the table and you can't see the fish,
I checked the algorithm. This
he left a couple of times under and came back. I think he may or may not have been up. He,
wanting me to fold there,
yeah,
sir.
he was swinging like a crazy man. I love playing with him is brilliant because he's not a flat out lunatic, but he loves to
I'm like, okay, he has the
yeah, mix it up. Really good fun. Really good fun.
Call.
Nice.
No need to bluff anymore.
Fold.
Because you're
Nice horns,
calling with
bud.
that no matter what I do.
Yeah, this is a great lineup.
That's new.
Thank you, Buck. Really appreciate that.
Fold.
Trying to do a lot of.
Moneymaker tried
the
to
store.
own it. Moneymaker tried to own it, but I told him
Call.
there's an A there.
Check. The flop.
Nice.
One more
I
hand,
copyrighted
Dummy.
it.
I'm gonna
Check.
go.
I copyrighted it.
Absolute pleasure, mate. Extremely well played. Really, really well played.
Check.
Soon to be a billionaire.
The
Bree.
turn.
Soon to be a
Player
billionaire.
check.
Yeah, pre-played. Really well. I mean, very aggressive. Doesn't like to fold. I noticed that. And had I hit the
You're losing money.
flush when we were both on the flush draw, I think I probably would have got the lot. But you know, if ifs and ands were pots and pans, I would have a lot of pots and
I think
pans.
you're up like what, 200, 300?
It only turns on when she touches them.
Fold.
Touches who
Not 3.
and where?
She touches.
I think I'm
Player
up like
folds.
170, 180.
Oh, I thought it was way more than that.
You took a bit of a hit, didn't you?
I gave 50 back
The river.
to Chris before he left, but
Oh,
I
okay.
had glitched
Check.
out and then I came back in and then glitched out and came back in,
Bet.
so it kept resetting. So
Chris went on
I kept buying him with
Good
just
job.
the 1K.
absolute rampage
Yeah,
at the
and
end
I
of
saw
it.
you lost one. You lost a pot to Dax also, I saw.
I think the biggest one I lost was to Chris. Everything else was like around like maybe 20 at the most.
Oh, okay.
Crab, have you seen an increase in viewers?
Yeah, we've got.
Player
We have got. Oops, I've just broken my stream.
fold.
We have got.
Oh God. Sorry to jinx it.
Oh, so I pressed the.
Okay, so the stream is broken. We can start
No,
swearing.
no, it's still running. I just
No.
Oh,
moved the sound.
Call.
There should be
We have got
No one
currently
needs to suck anything here.
no sucking of anything of anybody.
fine. I
39 viewers. We've got 39 viewers. I've mucked up my stream a wee bit.
So question, is that higher than
Check.
when you stream
Check.
kind of on the regular?
Yeah, I mean, I usually get about
Bet.
15, 20 sometimes,
Call.
Okay.
which is good.
Fold.
Just resizing.
That's not bad.
No, it's not. I'm very happy with that. Very happy.
That's a call. The
Yeah,
turn.
actually, you know what? Let's boost up your viewership. Everybody log into his
Check.
stream.
Player checks.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Check.
Rich.
The river.
I subbed your. I
Yeah, you're,
subscribed, right?
you subbed. Yeah, you gifted 5 subs the other day. Yeah, I very much appreciate.
Yeah,
You are officially
I'm trying to go
tank
3
it.
in a row.
I believe you.
You have 30
Fold.
million people watching actually.
Yeah. That was good. The stream on
Beautiful
Sunday
flop.
with the
2
billion was
draws.
fantastic fun.
Wow.
I had king queen.
I knew
Oh,
where all
see,
these
Owen.
cards were going. I've been sitting here for like
Yeah.
60 something hands. I think I've seen
Yeah.
one good hand.
Player
Yeah,
folds.
Bree did really well with
I
some.
had king
Really
queen,
well.
so
Had
I
no
needed to
cards.
fold.
I can see some things in her game where there's a vulnerability around perhaps overcalling, but she bluffs extremely well. Really good spots, really intelligent bluffs. She bluffed one hand where she had the ace of clubs on a 3-club board,
Ooh, Cupid goes in.
and it was really well thought through
Vunder
and
is
balanced
back
as well.
again.
So
Deja
yeah,
vu.
impressive play.
What the fuck is going on?
That's a call. The flop.
We're gonna see some action hand.
Mm-hmm.
Check.
Ooh, look at
Well, there is
Oh,
Cupid.
Applewee's on. Haven't seen her in a while.
Bet.
Oh my God, are you
No, we're
serious?
not gonna
I need
see
a
action
picture.
here.
I need a
Player
picture. I need a
folds.
picture.
A picture from what?
Taking a picture of.
Yeah.
Photos and highlights. Photos and
I mean,
highlights.
my dick is not that big to
Folded a
be
king
all the
10
way
or
over
something.
there.
Yeah.
Doctor, I
You
thought we
folded
made it
king
clear
10.
we're not
It's
talking
impossible,
about
man.
that
You would
right
never
now
fold
on
a king 10.
Oh,
Twitch
yeah,
stream.
true. I keep forgetting this. What the hell is
Raise it up.
Hello,
that about?
Bird Gang, formerly
Bird
O-
Gang is back.
Oculus Reparo, I believe this is
I
in
have
another
no
name.
fucking clue. Who are you?
Oculus.
How are you, Bird Gang 23?
It's
Oh,
Oculus.
Oculus.
Reparo.
Yeah, now I hear the voice. Oculus.
What are you guys talking about?
No, it's not fucking Oculus. You fucking nitwit.
It
That's a
is.
fucking Australian. No, he's an Australian.
I'm Oculus. I'm Oculus Reparo.
Oh, see, there we go. I knew it. What the hell are you doing? Why are you jerking my dick off? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Player checks.
I didn't start anything. He did.
Check.
Hello, Brad. How you doing,
Player
buddy?
bets.
Very good, mate. Good to see you. Good to see you.
Good.
I'm losing my. Oh, same man.
You win.
You are a scholar, sir. You are a scholar.
Thank you.
You? I know you, Mr. Nav. You the other.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Whatever.
I know
Where's
nothing.
my?
Call. Fold.
So we're in an interesting spot here because we lost a significant chunk of money, and there we are, 120 million.
Call.
Thank you
Now,
so much.
I talk the talk about not being affected by this kind of thing and just trying to work out not whether how you could have avoided that situation,
That's
but
a
whether or
call.
not
Moron are you?
you played correctly. And genuinely, I don't feel too bad about this evening.
That's
Doesn't
what
mean
it
it's-
was.
The biggest hand I say was tens
matter,
versus
some people
kings.
can
I'm in the
have
big blind. Chris Moneymaker on the
Player
button.
folds.
He's talking about leaving. He's talking about being a bit splashy. We've played a lot of hands. I know he will attack my button a bit light.
Fold.
So he raised to a million or so. I re-raised to 5 or 6. I think it was 2 million he raised to. Called by Bree. I raised to 6 with a 3-bet with pocket tens. He 4-bets me to 25 million. At which point
That much
I've got a decision to make. If I call the 25 million, I've got about 160 back.
I'm not sitting. I'm not getting.
What's my plan on the flop? Am I betting any flop? Am I just hoping for a 10? If I bet and he raises me, do I fold? It's easy for him to float me on the flop, which means call my flop bet and then bet the turn if I check.
Call.
So I don't like being out of position against someone as good as him. I think I've got to have a
Fold.
fairly robust 5-bet range in that spot. So I raise it up to
Fold.
65 million, which pretty much commits me.
You watch the stream?
Maybe I could have raged to
Absolutely. In the beginning,
45, 50 million, and that maybe would have given me the opportunity to
And then
fold.
10 hands,
But I definitely
I
can't
made it.
fold with
Nice.
only 100 million back.
One,
So I
two,
call
so
his shove,
net
his
profit,
6-bet shove,
exactly
5-bet
what you
shove,
fold this hand. I played
and I'm just saying to myself that ace king nines are in his range. He's not just got aces, kings, queens, and jacks. As it was, he had kings, but I think it's okay. And when I spoke to him afterwards, he
That's
said
a profit, NF.
that he thought it was the right move, or I played it well, and I think he was being sincere. And he spoke about a similar hand that he had where he didn't. This is a terrible spot. I am absolutely not winning there. There's definitely a full house out there. And he spoke about a previous hand where he hadn't 4-bet in that situation, and he probably should have done. So I'm quite pleased with that. And also it means next time I 4-bet Chris, he knows that I'm capable of 4-betting with tens. So if I do get aces against him in the spot, I'm more likely to get called. So I might not get paid back for that today or for a month or two, but eventually I think that's going to probably pay dividends. So I can live with that. And we are back above 2 billion at the moment, so that's okay. Oh, wow.
I'm going down.
Antoine, that's the second 4 of a kind we've had at the table this evening. Nice hand, Antoine. That's the second quads we've had.
10 high full. I hit the quads. Wow.
Yeah, I was open-ended on the flop.
Well, good to see you, Bird Gang. Nice for coming.
Thank you, Zaf. And there goes Bird Gang.
Oh, he's gonna be so upset.
He's never really winning there.
Loose cannon. 20 million.
Really? Oh, harsh.
Wait. That stream's over.
It doesn't matter. Still, the game is going.
Yeah, I think they still put people in sometimes, yeah. Or people who are in the queue get put in late, yeah. There was one night I was 280 million down when the stream finished, and I sat here for another 4 hours and broke even.
Really?
Oh, yeah. And other times, they were just people who were hanging around. And so, other times, it breaks up after about 10 minutes.
You know what? This is my second quads tonight.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah. And there was quad aces as well from Underdog.
I hit quad aces.
Here's the flop.
Yeah.
I took whose money? Somebody's money. I had quad aces and now my second
Bet.
quads.
Call.
Oh.
The turn. Check.
It's all because of Vunder. Vunder is my lucky charm. He's going to stop playing with me very soon. He's going to unfriend me.
Bet.
You are thinking about it,
might
though,
have
right?
to, man. Yeah.
You are
seriously.
thinking about it.
Fold.
No.
Is Antoine at the table? Yeah, what is this for that motherfucker? I'm not joining the table.
Well, there's a seat open. We can invite somebody, no?
Well, let's see if they're gonna send somebody.
Yeah. I'll put seat open in the chat on my stream so people will if it
Fold.
message Jordan if they need the password. I don't know if it's been posted.
Player folds. Fold. Fold. Raise. Player folds.
Right, shall we start analysing some hands? We're going to start. These are good players, so we should be able to get some interesting information playing against them and some interesting situations. Cupid has 3-bet NF here from the big blind, so NF has called pre-flop. Cupid has raised to 900, which is good. That means NF's range is going to be weaker than Cupid's. Cupid's is going to include more large pairs, over pairs, ace, queens in that spot, and NF's going to have a lot more low cards. So the 3 and the 5 are good for NF. The queen is good for Cupid, and both of them, of course, have a flush draw. Cupid didn't bet the flop as being the pre-flop aggressor. He's unlikely to have hit the 5, so quite often Cupid has nothing here. Occasionally he's got king, queen.
Basically.
You need to show up and say hi.
So NF didn't show a great deal of interest in that. Cupid takes it down.
Oh
Real possibility Cupid took that down with nothing there.
That works.
So we have on the button ace 10 offsuit.
This is the thing. I mean, how can I just fold a quad?
Limp under the gun from Antoine. Raise from Vunder attacking the limp, and this is a good spot. Ace 10. I'm going to 3-bet the ace 10 with the intention of folding if I'm 4-bet. And this is to keep my 3-bet range nice and wide. You've got to have some 3-bets that you can fold to a 4-bet, and ace 10 falls in that spot. Plus, I know Vunder raises quite wide there, so I could actually be beating Vunder's hand at this point. He'll fold a lot.
I
He'll
just
call
wanna-
and fold a lot on the
I
flop.
just want to keep busting Vunder's balls about it.
That's not a good flop for Vunder, unless he's got the overpair, which is
Not
possible.
everybody on this
And
table
I
already
should win
bankrupt
this a
me.
decent chunk of the time right here,
He's taking the uncapped ring.
Exactly.
So
because I'm representing
earning
big pairs.
money right now from him.
Except for when Vunder's actually got the goods,
good.
and he check min raises me, and that's unfortunate.
No, everybody on
Um,
this table already bankrupted me.
He's
except
got a lot of pocket
So
sevens,
today
pocket
might
eights,
be
pocket
good.
nines here.
I never
to
I
bankrupt.
don't think he's check raising the set
You
very
haven't
often. I
bankrupted
think we're
me.
going to float a little bit here,
The turn.
just because I don't want to fold for a min click.
I can't remember.
If he's got the set, of course, I'm now in the
Oh, yeah,
world
yeah,
of pain.
Yeah.
Ah,
Don't like this at all.
ah,
I really don't
mean-
like this at all.
Fuck, I have the whole
I
fucking
remember,
shit
I
on.
Doctor,
I
don't
think
put
we
that
can-
bad
I
juju
remember, I
on me.
remember.
I've never bankrupted you. Don't put it on
Interesting.
me.
On
You did, actually.
No,
Raise.
We were back in the day.
no, I need proof.
I'm representing
Back in the
aces
old
basically here.
days.
Aces, kings, and queens, and I think he's got sevens, eights, or nines.
Call. The river.
20 million.
That's a good
What's
card
going
for
on
me.
here, guys?
I'm likely
Holy
ahead here
cow.
a lot.
Wow.
So I've got to beat the two pair of his. I can't bet. He has to bet to stop me betting, and I have to call, unfortunately.
Bet.
I don't see either of you bluffing.
That's
Very
a call.
interesting.
Showdown.
Yeah.
Oof.
Wow, big bluff from Crab.
Interesting hand. If the 10 doesn't come, obviously I don't call the river. Occasionally I might shove on the river, but I wouldn't shove over the 25. The 25 is going to be a lot of 8s and 9s, I think.
Fold.
I say, unfortunate the two pair the was the 6-5. But there you go. He's called my 3-bet with 6-5 pre, so
Fold.
he's got me there. We are now down. How much are we down? 181 million. And our bankroll is taking a hit and is
Fold.
1938. So we're away off the 2 billion at the moment. So we're not going to top up
Check.
because we're not going to chase our losses. And with 64 million, it's easier to get it all in and get a double up. So we'll see how that goes.
Bet.
Yeah, good hand that. I think he's got, obviously he can have the 2 pair there.
Turn.
I think he can have overpairs reasonably often. The 10's a horrible card for me. Horrible card on the river in that specific spot.
Player checks. The river.
So yeah, my excellent run continues this evening.
Bet.
Oh, happy birthday, Zaf.
Fold.
Thank you for the sub, Casey. Appreciate that. Thank you for the cheers, Zaf. Thank you very, very much. When's the next TikTok? I've taken a TikTok hiatus. Apparently that my TikToks were getting so much traction on the platform that they were thinking of banning me. So to avoid the ban, because my TikToks were so incredible, I've taken a rest. Hopefully we'll do one again soon though.
Call.
A lot of fun.
Player checks.
Absolute pain in the arse to do the editing though, I will say that. Particularly on my rubbish old iPhone.
Check.
My big thumbs.
Player checks. Bet. Fold. Fold. Player folds. Player folds. Call. Player folds.
3-4 we fold.
That's a call. Call. Fold. Call.
I think we've got Moozers coming in here.
Player check. The
Moozers.
Yeah.
Alright, let's all act like our mics don't work.
Yeah.
Let's all mute and like act like we're talking to him, and then he'll think audio.
Oh yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna mute.
He's probably watching the stream.
He is watching the stream, yeah. It worked for 3 minutes.
You didn't hear that. You didn't hear it.
Call.
Oh yeah, he's watching his stream.
No, just keep playing it off like he trust me, he won't have any idea, guys.
Raise it up. Fold. Fold.
Welcome.
That's a call.
What's up, guys?
What's up, man?
Fold. The turn.
Can't hear the thing, Moozers. We're now pretending that our mics don't work when talking to Moozers.
Yeah, no talking.
And Moozers is
'cause
going to...
voice is broken.
What's going on? We're all going to pretend the same thing. So we're all going to say hello to Moozers. He's going to see him. I'm talking on the stream anyway.
And I assume Crab is talking to stream.
There you go. He assumed I was talking to the stream. And I am talking to the stream about the fact that I'm talking to the stream.
Player bets.
7 million from Wyatt.
Did I turn everyone's sound down? I can't hear anyone. What's going on?
Moozers can't hear anyone because we're cheating. This is... Hold the line. Hold.
Can't hear anyone talking. Hello?
That's a
Oh,
call.
there we go.
The river.
Oh, oops. I didn't get the memo. Sorry.
Sorry, Vunder.
Chad.
Ooh.
Who invited?
We have a
Who
tie.
invited?
Who invited the alien guy?
Nice sound.
Who invited this guy?
It's really working.
I think that was enough.
Also, you're watching the stream, so or you were. Comedy gold.
I think that was
Yes.
enough. No.
It's NF. It's NF is the.
I'm telling you.
Player
The
folds.
entire whole
Yeah.
field, mine's are.
So was that in
I don't know what
the
they're.
store?
I don't know what they're talking about.
Or was that given to you?
This is mine.
Nice. Nice.
Call.
What'd you have to do?
That was a nice hand, Wyatt. God damn it.
Fold.
Oh.
What's been
With the,
happening
you
here?
got the earrings
Who
too?
won all the
Football.
money
That's the
left?
prop?
Yeah.
No,
Who won?
the earrings was in the store.
Fold.
The
Oh.
ruby ones.
Check.
Oh, you got to play the. You played the entire 4 hours.
Oh yeah.
Check.
Wow.
Well done.
Like I
well
said,
done.
two pair on the flop
like this.
always
Yeah.
is
Me, I guess.
The turn.
crappy.
Jeez.
Player
Uh,
check.
You had to tell your wife to come
So
in
what
and use
happened
their
on it? I
hands
didn't
too.
see a single
Yeah,
hand.
with-
today.
164 mil all in pre. Tens versus kings. Moneymaker on the button. Me and the big blind. Five bet to 64 million, and he shoved. At which point I'm committed. Fine.
They were lined up
All
this way.
fine.
Yeah.
You had tens.
Yeah, he had kings. But yeah, I know. He's wide enough there. He said that. He said,
Yeah, definitely.
oh, 100%. So yeah, can't flat
So you
tens
designed
that
it
spot. So
yourself?
Fold.
Yeah.
for 25 mil. Yeah.
Yeah, you
So
sent him a picture and everything?
it'll pay off down the road somewhere.
It was, what's his face?
Yeah.
FB.
Nice.
He dropped about $500 million conservatively, I would say.
Wait, what was the reasoning?
He's he,
A billion?
he came and went 4 times, and on the board in front of me right now, he's down 301 million. Admittedly, I'm down 181, but yeah.
So just by being on Isaac Saturdays, everyone got a ton of money from him.
Except for my I managed to avoid getting any of it. Chris got 300 mil. He was 300 mil up in, but it was swinging. It was so swingy. I think Underdog got I don't know whether Underdog was up and down. He left a few times.
Near the trash.
Yeah, it was a good game there.
Huh.
Obviously, FB was playing crazy, but it was decent poker. It wasn't when he wasn't in the hand kind of thing. It was as good as it's been.
I'm trying to figure this out.
Quality wise. Bree ran like Jesus.
You know what? I'll tell
Again?
you everything then.
Yeah, I mean she played well. She played aggressively and ran well. She was about 170 up. She was about 250 up at one point. But there was 3 times.
Like he was
I
driving you home.
think she was playing with her own money.
Like,
But there were 3 times where I could have stacked her, and it just didn't happen for whatever reason. But it was set up that there was the possibility of stacking
I
it.
literally was
Yeah.
going to pay him 5 grand.
Thunder,
Player bet.
your internet service provider's called. They said they've got to disconnect you, and if you wouldn't mind resetting your computer in the next 3 seconds, that'll help them with their diagnostic process. I've got Ace King. I mean, it's very sad. Please don't show me Ace Queen.
I flopped it.
You flopped it. Whoa!
Time to give you the golden.
Wow! I was losing twice. I was losing to trips and to a straight.
I shouldn't have slow played it. I should have.
Oh, I'd have bombed. I'd have bombed the pot. Absolutely, I'd have bombed the flop. You'd have got the lot. Yeah, or at least generally.
Why is your
I
mouth
made a mistake.
moving,
My
but I
mistake.
see the thing, but I hear nothing?
I made a gamble that nothing is going to come out.
Yeah, it was a terrible, terrible, terrible turn.
Our lieutenant's helmets are red.
Runner trips when it's bad. Yeah.
Your head. I don't hear your voice. Oh, you're
You
talking.
don't hear me? Yeah.
No, yeah, I do.
That's a call.
Thank you, Daxid. Thoroughly appreciate it. That, I believe, puts you top of the leaderboard again over Fiending when that updates. So, yes, it does. Well done, my friend. A pleasure playing with you this evening. Thoroughly enjoyed that. Yeah, really good game. That, in terms of just enjoying a nice game of poker, that was the high stakes Saturday I've enjoyed the most. That was good chat, some good play, some bonkers hands.
Yeah, it was on the flop, right?
When certain people were
On
playing.
the flop, you have the nines,
The
yeah.
flop.
Yeah.
It would have been nicer if I'd have won some money, but I can live with that.
Let
Scared
go.
though.
But yeah, no, great fun. Always a pleasure playing with you.
You showed that was folding.
Bet.
Nah, I
Call.
don't think so.
The turn.
Yeah, because it would have looked like you hit the open ender.
Player check.
Yeah.
Turn. You know what I mean? It was like a gut shot, that
The
card.
river.
It was the open ender of it.
But there was a flush
Check.
possible out there also.
Yeah.
Straight. I couldn't shove with my 2 pair. Mirror range also, so yeah.
Call.
So
I couldn't risk it.
I know a lot of you missed it because I had 15 viewers, and there's more viewers than that right now. So earlier this evening, I did a sort of coaching session, if you like,
Yeah, 10 almost.
on Twitch, where I talked about 5 tips for PokerstarsVR players and how to win a lot of money. I admit that when you look at my little watch here and you see that I've just lost 200 million, probably you're thinking, why should I take any advice from this guy? But I talk about
Don't fuck with those.
some tips to win money in PokerstarsVR,
The
about your mental game, about bankroll management, about limping and not limping, how to bet on the flop, when not to bet on the flop, and a few other ideas. So it's about 45 minutes long. It'll be up on YouTube tomorrow morning, and I'll post it in Discord.
Call.
So I hope you enjoy that. And I'm going to do that every Saturday, hopefully, just before High Stakes Saturday. Talk about different topics that I think people might find interesting. And then follow it up by losing loads of money,
Player folds.
which is what I do. I can say that this channel is completely free of any talk relating to any kind of beverage, coffee, tea, hot chocolate. We won't be talking about any of those for legal reasons, which I can't go into at the moment.
Bet.
And it's proprietary.
I'm trying to
Call.
focus.
The river.
I got a big hand here. I'm trying to play my best poker. I got somebody laughing in my ear right now.
See, now I'm laughing. I wasn't laughing.
Bet.
I'll save you some money.
That's a
Pay
call.
me some money, Eddie.
Showdown.
Thank you.
Fuck
Straight.
it.
So NF takes it down. I said, this is a good table. It's a shame I'm stuck because I could buy him for a little bit more. Should we buy him for a little bit more? Do we stick at 55? I think we stick at 55 and we try and get it all in against one of these guys.
Over here.
The others are crazy.
I don't exactly fancy going down another 100 million at this point.
Fold.
Doesn't affect any of the leaderboards.
What time is it? Because I'm fucking dead
Yeah.
also.
Call.
Maybe. No, 55. I think 55 million is the kind of figure I should be able to get all in pretty easily against NF or Vunder in a good spot.
Call.
So against Wyatt.
40 a.m. I think I'm going to
Let's just stick here for the moment. Maybe put a little bit more on in a minute.
Player check. Bet.
Yes, Dax, if anyone can get FB to
outside.
switch his financial largesse to this Twitch
Oh,
channel,
sorry, I didn't hear
I
something.
would be eternally in your debt,
But
both
good to see
literally and metaphorically.
Yeah, I'm
So
smoking one cigarette and then I'm going to bed.
yeah.
Cool.
I don't see it happening
Maybe
somehow,
it'd be a
though,
lucky
but you never know.
I take out the headset and
I suspect you would struggle to maintain the lead on the leaderboard if that did
so
happen,
it
Dax.
must be getting right where Winford is like in an hour
Oh.
also.
The turn. Player checks.
Again, like, I had a sleep this afternoon. I usually do before I play this. Planning.
Oh, okay.
Fold.
It's
Yeah, yeah.
also his day tomorrow, so he can do whatever he wants.
That's true. It's Father's Day, isn't it? Yeah. Hell yeah.
That was last week.
I had the
That
ace
was
king,
last week
so
for us.
No, it's tomorrow here.
Father's
So
Day was last week. Oh,
Yeah.
tomorrow with you? Okay.
yeah.
Father's Day last week.
That's true. Oh, I was worrying about getting in trouble for going to bed late, but you know, because I'm a child. But I should be.
Father's Day to you old men out there, you,
Yeah.
and you,
Fold.
especially you.
Why it's got yeah.
Thank you. That means you consider me a young man. That's cool.
Raise.
Thank you very much, sir.
You're very welcome.
Player folds. Raise. Fold. Fold.
So Cupid 3 bets to 2 million over the top of Moozers.
I think Moozers actually.
Fold.
Moozers the father. Happy Father's Day to Moozers.
Thank you.
Moozers folds. And that's what I wish had happened with my ace 10 hand against Vunder. Old pre-flop. Yeah, Vunder played me like a fiddle there.
Everyone here but Cooper.
Really nice play from Vunder. And we got ace 10 off suit again. Let's try and play a bit better this time. Did we play it wrong or did we just lose? Thank you, Captain Ron. Really appreciate it. And I do like it when the little sound plays when that happens. Alright, so we're not going to limp. We're not going to fold it just because we lost it last time. We're going to raise. We're going to fold to any pressure from white. We're going to fold to re-raise from an F unless it's a small one. And we're going to continue to play the flop aggressively if we hit. And probably even if we don't. So call from the blinds. The NF's thinking about it.
Big blind.
You are the big blind.
Call.
We're gonna have a
Here's the flop.
we're gonna have a lesson here.
Check.
When we're
Excellent.
Gonna be a lesson here.
I feel like I'm about to be
Extremely.
taught.
Player checks.
What should I do in this spot?
Silent.
This is, no, I'm speaking.
Check would be good.
Check with me. We can check. We can check that. Yeah.
The turn.
I'll check one more time after this.
Check.
NF's going to instruct us through this hand for people listening on the stream. We're going to check again on his instruction.
The river.
I'm gonna.
Is
bet
anyone
and
else
you will
very much
fold.
reminded of Jordan
and
by
Fred's
NF's
gonna fold.
mannerisms in talking? Am I the only one?
1.2.
Would you care to explain your thinking with that bet sizing for the people in the stream?
Oh my son.
Good lesson. I enjoyed the lesson. Look at that. The lesson was flop a flush. That's the lesson. Good lesson.
Ah, okay.
It
Perfect.
was a good
lesson.
playthrough.
That was perfect.
right?
Perfect.
Lesson
Absolutely
learned.
perfect. That's what perfect that was.
For new players, I think we all learned something that hand.
I feel better for it.
It was a good check. You didn't lose any money.
Yeah.
No bet.
Raise. Player folds. That's a call. Fold.
Cupid raises, Antoine calls, Thunder calls,
The flop.
Vodka calls, flops 4-way to the flop.
Check.
Cupid's the pre-flop aggressor, so you shouldn't see anyone betting into him. You won't see these guys donk betting very often. That's leading into the pre-flop
Here's the
aggressor.
turn.
No one should have Cupid won't have a queen here ever because he should bet every queen that he's raised pre-flop. So if he bets here, he hasn't got a queen, which puts him in a tricky spot. If he bets his jacks, if he bets his, well, he should only be betting jacks and tens here. He gets some flush draws. He can occasionally have a set of threes or a set of eights, but for the most part, I'd say Cupid's not really got much of a hand here. And of course, Vunder or Vodka can actually have a queen, but they've not got much, and they fold to the pre-flop aggression. So, Ace 9, I can see it up on my Ace 9 or Ace 6, Ace 6. I can see it up on the screen. So yeah, as we thought, Cupid didn't have the queen and was just taking it down because no one showed any interest. You can attack the pre-flop raiser when they check the flop and then the ball pairs on the turn. It's a great spot to attack someone who's shown weakness as the pre-flop raiser.
Fold. Call.
Thank you, Daxid. You will be my hero.
Fold. Fold. Call. Raise it up. Player folds. Call.
So yeah, Father's Day in the UK here. Well, now I guess it's 3:43. My children and my wife are sleeping. Well, one of my children's sleeping. The other one's probably up doing similar internet-based things at the moment.
Call.
She's a night owl like I am. Yeah, I've got two daughters, aged 21 and 18, and they turned 21 and 18 during lockdown, which was a shame for them as they missed their birthday parties that we had planned. But I would much rather they were safe, so can't grumble about that at all. Got a 16 million pot here. Vodka bets 8 million on the river. And that river changes the ball dramatically, so as the person checking through there.
What's my card not turning around?
I
Okay,
saw it
now
on the
it's-
other side for some reason.
Yeah.
Nice.
You saw it on the other side?
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, that was weird. That, yeah, I saw that, yeah.
Yeah, that was weird.
That's very odd.
Because I had the card that
It was the
over
king
and
of
it doesn't-
diamonds, right?
Yeah, ace
Yeah.
king. It didn't want to turn over for some reason. Because he showed the king. I was going to show the king to him, so I flipped it. And I'm like, you have a king, I have a king. I mean,
Fold.
yeah,
Regardless,
you
your
have?
king was gonna king 10.
Fold.
Your
king 10.
yeah, your king was gonna be better regardless with my king.
Yeah.
Call. Call. Check.
Limpy, limpy, limp, limp, all the way around.
Check.
If anyone's got a king, it's not going to be a very strong one. So the highest king you should see out there is King Jack. You shouldn't see any King Queens. Obviously, there's a lot of flush draws, a lot of sets with the 7-8s. Vunder bets in the mid. Where's the button gone? Oh, the button's there. It was on the button, so fair enough. No one's showing any interest. Vunder says, I'll have that. Thank you very much. And he's bet slightly over the pot, which implies
Player fold.
possibly a draw. Could bet that size with a flush draw. Could bet their size with King Jack, knowing that it's very strong on this board.
Call.
Even 9-10.
Turn.
Because he's going to bet his draws and he's going to bet his made hands. 2 is the biggest blank in the deck. No one should eat the 2. 2 million there. Antoine's got a draw or a weak king. And a queen hits. And Antoine may actually have king queen if he bets here.
It's in your best interest to check it.
Shit, my battery.
Oh well, Antoine's died while trying to bet. Wow.
And this one doesn't go.
It's in your best interest.
This one, oh my.
You can do it, Antoine. Ah!
Oh, wait. So if I
The acting is amazing.
so if I raise it, he can't do anything. Right?
Looks that way.
Wow.
What if you lower the table?
No, this is moving by itself. Look at this. Look at the hand. You see that?
High
I
card.
want to fucking bluff you.
Wow.
Fucking bluff you.
Wow.
Oh.
It was going to work, too.
It was gonna
It
work.
was gonna work.
How do you do that? Was that like some Jedi mind trick you just did on him?
Fold.
I'm
Did he
shaking
shoot
my
little
hands like
tranquilizer
crazy
darts
right
into his
Yeah.
hands?
Antoine, blink twice if you need help.
He only blinked one. Nope, there was two.
There were two.
blinks.
Oh, he's in trouble.
I saw them. He actually blinked
I'm
twice.
shaking the
He
hand
did,
so
didn't he?
much.
You
Wait,
you
I'm
might
trying
want to get new batteries.
Yeah, take
How
it
are they
down.
It's not the
moving
batteries, this is
slightly if they're
index.
stuck? I don't understand.
Well,
No,
someone.
I'm shaking them like I'm literally waving my hands and
Put them
trackers
above your
are not-
head. Put them above your head.
My
Fold.
hand is above my head right now.
That looks really weird.
That is weird.
I've never seen them actually
That's a
be
call.
moving, but frozen.
No,
Yes,
no,
baby.
the trackers are not
Fold.
seeing them properly, or the
Yeah.
batteries are. Look, I'm trying to move them,
Check.
literally spinning
The
them
flop.
everywhere. This is bullshit.
Wow.
I was gonna take your money, bitch.
I was just saying, Vunder's got a lot of bluffs in his range here because he's betting. Then I was going through all of that, and I was quite excited about Antoine betting there because I thought this will be interesting.
Fold.
Oh,
Fold.
that was a good hand. That
Hold to anything.
that was a really good hand.
Call.
Oh dear, unbelievable. Some people just run like G, even when they're bluffing.
All the buttons.
Ace high, going to be bluffed into. Other guy just freezes up.
This is bullshit.
Disgraceful.
I'm shaking them like
Player
crazy,
bets.
motherfuckers. These are crazy.
Player folds.
Okay, but hold on a second.
No, I'm not doing that right now.
Reset. Reset seating. Seating.
What? Oh, you put all kinds of stuff on there.
Reset seating.
Whoa, look at all that.
Click on this.
You can make pictures look sillier.
They got
There you go. Wasn't a sudden influx of light into the room, was there?
No, I had to click on the reset seating
That's a call.
enough.
with the
You
mouse.
can do all kinds of stuff. You put all little creatures in there. Kitty ears, bunny ears.
Bro, I really wanted to.
I'm watching you struggling right now on the on the screen.
On the
I
stream.
have no idea.
It's quite funny, you know. It's
I
actually
was
funny.
doing like this. I wanted to pick this up and then do it like this with the whole acting
Yeah.
That's pretty
and
cool.
watch you
Summer.
fold.
That was awesome.
The flop. Check. Check.
The batteries are halfway, 50%, so there's no battery problem. This is crazy, man.
Fold.
It was. If
We
you really
can
watch
call. There's a
the
lot of
way
turn cards we
it
like,
moves,
but I
it's
think we'll fold there. I've chased it up.
really fucking funny.
Well, we have the lighthouse stickers
Hey.
for the index, right?
Mm.
So once in a while
Out of
they
this room.
reset
Out.
itself.
Okay,
So
I know.
once
I
they're
know. Get out
booting,
of here so you don't get hurt.
this happens and this whole thing is shaking like crazy. But
Jeez, kids.
man,
Fold.
Wonder, you are so lucky, bro.
It was a very small pot, you know.
It was a small pot, but
Call.
it was going to be very laughable, you know.
That was going to be a great bluff.
Call.
Yeah. I'd have talked. You'd have shown the bluff on the stream. I'd have talked through what a great bluff it was.
And then the hand
Yeah.
got stuck. I was doing like this and then.
Call. Fold.
Oh my god.
Terrifying.
Sign. It was a sign. A blessing in
Oh.
disguise. You didn't do
No,
that.
because
You were
I
cold.
knew he
Player
had nothing when he told me
Here's the
check is
flop.
better for you. As soon as I heard that, I'm like, I want to fucking bet.
But I only said it when you were trying to do it and you were failing.
Check.
That's when I told you that checking is better.
Check.
Oh my god.
Check. The turn.
And I was right.
Check.
It's a good fun though. It's a good bluff.
Check.
It's okay.
So, there's a lot of aces out there. However, I'm only getting called by a flush or a better ace.
Check.
What is calling me that I beat? And the answer is nothing because I've got ace two.
Fold
So
from-
no one's calling me with just an
I'll
eight.
flip the bluff and I'm gonna do that.
Wind
So,
are you
check it
sure?
out.
Hands
It's
aren't
3-minute delay. It looks like less than 3 minutes.
Yeah, but you have to understand from the beginning.
Oh yeah, it's live, isn't it?
start,
Hang on, what's going on there?
Bet like, okay, I'm calling everything, betting. Because I
It
said
looks
to
like
my
it's
mind,
less than
if
3
I don't
minutes.
hit anything, I'm gonna.
I'm
blah, 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 blah.
not, but
No, it's should be right.
And he knew that he had the idea that
Fold.
okay, I had the like a mid pair or something, right?
Should be 3 minutes.
Because I mean, if you
Let
did
me
that
just
to
check.
me,
yeah.
Look,
I would have fold.
anything.
No,
anything
it's
was
probably
beating-
okay, but it looks like it's
anything was
really
beating me.
Raise.
close to whatever happened.
Sure.
It's still
Yeah.
fine, but
Yeah,
you cannot
it's
snipe. But it looks like
it's actually 170 seconds. I've got it set at.
Player
So-
folds.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Call. The flop.
Yeah, those 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Player
Yeah.
Maybe what's
Yeah.
it's in
Quite
my head,
possibly.
so
Yeah, you know your times, don't you? Piloting and all that.
yeah, exactly. And really, I'm used of the 3 minutes every time of the delay.
Yeah.
So that's 180, and I'm like,
Player
this
bet.
There's
seems
some
a
major
lot
action
closer.
going on uncapped.
What?
Seriously?
Who's
What?
there? FB?
It's Harpoor
Fold.
Jam.
Oh, half put you.
To 100, yeah, Harpoor Jam. He just jumped to 100 mil on uncapped.
Whoa.
Oh,
I wonder who is playing there.
Yeah.
He was at 70 before that. He was at 60 something, 70 before that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's got 30,
I thought
30,
it was Bree.
30 billion.
My guess is that it was Bree.
or
He
Bree.
wasn't that, he wa- he
Bree
wasn't
could
on
be
anything
also.
before. He was below 48. He was not on the board.
Oh, well, my guess is Bree.
Oh no, he
And
was.
if
He
it-
was. Sorry, he was at 64. Yeah.
Yeah.
Player
Okay,
folds.
It
35
could
mil.
be. It could well have been Bree also. She's
Yeah.
up so much. So and she's playing loose.
Player folds.
She's
Playing loose.
a
Yeah,
loose
she
playing
will
person.
throw money around. So far, she's
calling
very,
quite a
very
lot.
good at winning.
Call.
Yep.
Call.
It works till it doesn't.
Very brave
Flop.
calls.
Oh yeah.
You want me to go check?
Fold.
No, we're good.
Check real quick.
Check.
So don't lose your seat.
Turn.
I'm sick of playing that game.
Check.
You know,
Check.
Oh, I didn't. I
sit around and see who can win the.
yeah, it's
whatever.
I
It's just not satisfying. Like, yeah, the chips are great, but
it's not
this is satisfying.
this is better, isn't it? Much better. There's only so much you can do with that. Yeah, I agree. Last night, I was getting messages. He was at the other table. Admittedly, we didn't play a lot of poker last night because we were laughing at fiending, but but that was much more enjoyable than whose turn is it to win the 100 million? Yeah.
Now, actually, how much I like to be on the table with FB and try to be lucky against him,
Raise.
I also do prefer
Fold.
stuff like this.
Oh, this is great.
Sure, I might fold 1,000 more hands than I used to do otherwise,
Fold.
but it's poker.
Yeah, this is good
At
fun.
least we're playing poker and not bingo
Yeah,
or
there is
whatever.
not right. There is not poker.
Yeah. That's not.
Call. Here's the flop.
Absolutely.
Because I do lose every fucking single hand.
Yeah.
Again,
Player bet.
it's yeah, my tracker is probably fucked up. I mean, I can't look this end now. I cannot
Player
bend the
fold.
fingers. It got
Fold.
stuck like this. I can move it.
My
I
gosh,
might
my
need
kids
to
are bothering me
restart my
harder than
computer,
they've
but I
ever
don't
done
wanna lose-
before. And when I'm
actually,
at
I will
100K,
not lose the
200K.
No, you won't.
Tell
like
them
they-
Father's Day starts right now.
Yeah, Father's Day starts now, kids. Go
Yeah.
away.
Daddy needs some me
That's not
time.
nice.
Raise it up.
It's the Father's Day right now, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Fold.
Yeah. One more hour.
Not for another 4 hours for
That's
me.
call.
It was last
That's some
week.
impressive emote work there, Cupid.
Come in.
Impressed by that.
Fold.
I'm looking forward to seeing them come across the.
Fold.
Very nice.
Call. Call. The flop. Player checks. Check. Check.
Oh boy.
Bet.
Hold up.
Fold.
Hey.
Fold. Call. Fold. The turn. Check.
Interesting
Bet.
pot building here.
Call.
That 5 completes a lot of draws, as does the Queen. And you can see a lot of 2 pairs out there for Dr. Vodka. Some missed flush draws. I think Cooper's just taking a stab on the turn. If he was, he needs to take a bigger stab on the river because Vodka should fold a lot. I suspect Cupid's not actually got it very often.
That's a call.
See a light call here.
Go
Nope.
call.
And I was completely wrong.
That fucking river. That fucking river.
So a Queen 10, potentially
That made
Queen
me
9.
call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
That fucking
I
river
lost a
made me
similar
call.
hand to
Player
Moneymaker.
folds.
He had the flop.
Yeah.
He
Player
flopped the
folds.
set.
Nicely done by
the river, I
Cupid.
got
That
2
look,
pairs.
that
I
look,
lost
the
20.
check on the
Nice
flop
hand, Cooper.
was set him up. I think he checked on the flop, but anyway, set him up for the turn and river bet. And the
I
river
should
bet
have gone
was
to bed when I said
could
so after.
easily have been a bluff there. And because Cupid's capable of bluffing that spot, he gets paid off a lot more often.
No.
So
I'm not
nicely
chasing
done by
anything.
Cupid.
Cupid
Fuck it.
lures you in by not talking. Which is special.
Shove it.
Raise.
Yeah.
Call.
This guy, Cupid.
What happened to Cupid? Yeah, Cupid kills. You know, whenever he's on
Yeah.
the
He
table,
lures
just
you
watch
in.
out.
He lures
Yeah.
you in without talking.
He does, yeah, he does that shit.
Fold.
That was fun.
Bet.
If that river doesn't come, I don't pay any single penny anymore. But that queen comes,
But what did you have?
I had the flush draw, I had the straight draw, and I had top pair.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, what
And
did
at the end, I
Top pair or
had 2 pair, queen 10.
you have?
He had top 2.
There we go, Queen 10. It was either Queen 10 or Queen 9. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
he's stuck there.
I
Absolutely has to
I
call. It
mean,
was a good check, in fact, by Vodka, because
well, I didn't have
by
to call,
checking,
but
it means he doesn't get
You
raised
have to call, yeah.
with
I
what is a
guess
marginal
prefer
hand,
call.
although a strong one, and it turns his
Or
hands into a
just
bluff
like a
catcher.
Fold.
So if he checks and Cupid
which I
bluffs, he
did.
can call when he wins.
So
So
blind got
actually, I
raised.
think Vodka played that perfectly and ends up winning the pot a big
Here we
chunk
go,
of the time.
words analyzer.
Raise.
So I'm
Analyzing on stream.
talking here, talking
Stop poop.
Well,
numbers,
if
numbers,
he's
more
calling, I
numbers,
should get
other
one.
numbers,
Hmm.
some different numbers. NF's going to fold like a napkin. There we go.
Back to stream. Back down.
Right, we can do the jack here, people.
The flop.
That's not a check, but that's as good a flop as I'm going to see. That was incredibly fast check from Moozers. That was interesting.
Bet.
We want to call from 9s and 10s. We want to call from all the flush draws. Have we got the jack of hearts? We haven't. That means there's more flush draws out there. There's 4 or 5. There's all the sets. We could lose a lot here. Moozers' check was insanely fast. I think he saw the lights pop up. I am seriously considering folding here. I am
The
seriously.
only reason this makes sense is if Moozers hit like a
On
3,
you.
2. I don't think he has the 8s. He has a set. He has 3s or 2s.
Fold.
I think I agree with that analysis from NF because he didn't think long enough before the. He's going to check 100% of the time, but it was insanely fast.
well, and I had a flush draw. I just on the stream, I hear your comment. I had a flush draw, top pair, straight draw. I mean,
I think I'm folding the hardest hand, right? Like I might be folding the hardest hand. I'll let Windward fold, and I'm gonna let Windward say if it was bad or good to fold this.
Fold.
Whoa! I folded jacks.
I think it was the right fold, right?
You either fold.
Call that.
You either fold or shove. I folded jacks. So I probably
You folded technically a better hand than I had.
at the time. Yeah, you got. Yeah, I prefer your hand to mine in that spot.
Yeah, I prefer yours.
Moozers, I don't need to hear it from you, okay?
Why?
I don't need it. I don't need it.
Why?
I don't need it
He's a fireman.
That's not an answer to why, though.
because I don't need it.
Fold.
Why don't you need it?
Call.
You're interrupting. I was having a conversation with Windward.
That's
Okay?
a call.
You were not invited.
Well,
Check.
I'm here too, and I can so you know.
The
I'm gonna
flop.
chime in.
Check.
What do you have?
Player checks.
3s.
Check.
I don't need that question.
Fold. Check. Check. The turn. Check. Check.
Yeah, so that was interesting. That was partially based on the tell there, which obviously I've now given away there, which was the insanely fast check. It was notably so. And because the lights pop on to tell you we've got a little bit quicker, he's checking 100% of the time there anyway, but it was super quick. And then with the bet, everything added up to me being beat there. Doesn't mean he's not check raising with a bluff sometimes, but I think the flop is so. I don't think he's check raising the flush draws too often.
Check. Player check.
He can do, but I think more often there he's just check calling with the flush draw and letting me hang myself on the turn. So yeah, interesting stuff.
I'm watching his stream later. I will figure out what hand you had earlier. I'm going to figure it out.
Nothing about the stream will help you.
I mean, your card showed on the stream. Pretty sure.
You already did your analysis.
Yeah.
That's the best you could do.
Absolutely right. Yeah, playing jacks is brilliant.
know what else
Playing
you can do.
jacks makes you better. Think about your jacks. Play your jacks well, and the rest will follow.
That's a call.
But yeah,
I think they do.
let's assume well,
Not on this one.
Moozers.
What?
No, not on this one.
Fold.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
because
not like
this
Turtle
Windward's
is
now.
streaming us right now.
I haven't got magic powers.
Streaming
Let's move
us.
to his stream.
I thought the card stream on the table.
No,
Crab's
no.
got on Crab's.
When
On his
Jordan
stream.
runs it.
Yeah,
Call.
You only see Crab's cards.
you can see my
What
cards,
we
Here's
show.
the flop.
Yeah. which it's easy to work out my cards
I mean,
because
if
it would
it
be the
was gonna on
second best
stream,
hand.
I would have just showed you, since
Bet.
what's the difference between now and 3 minutes, you know?
Fold.
I already forgot about it. No worries.
Call.
Love playing with NF. He's hilarious. Absolutely hilarious.
Raise.
You need to put that fire down, bro.
Yeah. Where's my fire
Call.
hose?
There you go.
Take the axe as well.
Fold. The turn.
Yeah, there you go.
You need the axe to knock down doors.
Check.
And the axe.
Oh yes, I
Player
need this.
bets.
No, I mean, for a start, NF had an 8, so he's unlikely to have an 8 there. I would bet a lot of money that he had twos or threes. In fact, I did bet a lot of money that he had twos or threes because I folded jacks.
Now,
So
guys,
there we
you
go.
have an axe and you have a halligan.
Interesting spot.
Together, what does it make?
And the thing is, if I do call, right, let's assume that I don't fold. Do I call with the jacks or do I re-raise? Well, if I re-raise, those are the 6 spots where you think
And a halligan together.
you're kind of begging them not to call because you know you're beat.
Axe and a
Because
halligan.
what on earth are they check raising with that folds? And if they call, what do you do? So if I call the 12 million, what card am I hoping to see on the turn? I don't want to see a heart. I don't want to see a ball pair. I don't want to see a low card that makes some of the
I do
straights.
forcible entries to other
It's just a horrible spot, and sometimes in a horrible spot like that, you can actually fold a big overpair to a flop pair. I did the same in the stream, and I folded 2 pair to Chris Moneymaker when he went a bit weird on the flop, and I had top 2 on a flushed board with straights out there, and he had the straight, which is kind of what I thought he had because I don't think he bets a flush like that. I also folded 9s as an overpair to Bree. So yeah, I've had my arse handed to me today quite severely. It's going to take a little while to claw that back. But it could have been a lot worse. And it could have been a lot better as well. There were a few hands that could have gone the other way.
Special.
And I could have won there was a few times I could have won a 300 million pot. So the trick is not to think about what you won or lost. The trick is to think about, did I play the hands right? And I probably could have played that hand against Vunder with ace 10 a little more passively. But other than that, that was 50, 60 million. Other than that, not that bothered. And actually being able to do that's good. I'm glad I've got that in the arsenal. I think quite often there he's got 7s, 8s or 9s. So yeah, all good fun. So if you are new to the channel, if you join me from the Get Lucky stream, really appreciate a follow. Obviously doesn't cost anything. It gives me a nice boost on the numbers, and then you'll get notified when I'm streaming if you tick that box. So if not, no worries. Appreciate you being here this evening. Had a really nice day of poker and doing my streams and the like, so enjoyed myself. Cupid's calling. Oh, NF's calling. Right, so what am I losing to here? 7-8, 5-6.
Could have got so huge. What?
Yeah, 7-8. All the flush draws. Better queens. 4-7 just got there, which Cupid shouldn't have. NF shouldn't have.
If they're chasing the straight, they're gonna pay.
Yeah, I couldn't. It was too much.
NF has been watching my streams a lot. Now that's a terrible card.
Hit the flush, they will pay.
Yeah, and I made it 2 million. You could have made it like.
Yeah.
You've been paying attention, mate.
Yeah, the first thing I thought of was,
I
oh
don't know,
shit, he might have
I
6,
do watch your
7.
streams every now and then.
But then he started to slow down on the turn.
I had, everything you could hope to have except for the winning hand.
I think this is a fold.
Flush draw too, right? You have a draw?
Oh yeah, yeah. I had every draw, every open-ended flush draw, top pair, I had everything.
The one time I
Nice value bet from NF there. All the talking, it was a bit of a giveaway. Yeah, quite happy with that fun. I'm not running well this evening. It's fantastic. But Cupid was possibly beating me there as well. He could have Jack Queen quite often. He could have a 3. And Vodka's doing. Don't moan about what you folded. He made a correct fold pre-flop. The fact he hit the flop is completely irrelevant. Does not matter. And you'll drive yourself mad thinking about it.
That sucked. That would have been a nice spot to win.
They had 2 pair.
Yeah.
Fold.
So.
Let it go. Let it go.
Oh yeah, I didn't.
I was again exactly what I was saying. Exactly. Do you want to just you come over here and you just speak into my headset?
No, I mean it's a good fold. I mean at that moment on the flop it was a good fold. Turns out to be, but it's a good fold nonetheless on the flop. There's no way I can call with just a 5.
No, absolutely, 100%. So you can see it. This is a good game of poker. I mean, I'm again. We're not winning, but we're having some very interesting hands. Very interesting hands.
I just wished I was playing bingo. That would have been good.
NF is needling Moozers.
Keep your 3s to yourself.
Honestly, NF's hilarious. Absolutely fucking
I had
hilarious.
3s yet today. I don't know what you said that for. That's weird.
Raise it.
I know you had him.
That's a call. Player folds. Here's the flop. Check. Bet. That's a call. The turn.
So much for you being over
Check.
it. Still thinking about it. I can't believe you laid that down.
I think it was a good. I think it was good.
Bet.
I think it was a good decision.
Call. Here's the river.
I mean, if you think I had threes, then it was a bad laydown.
Bet.
Because you have a 9 outs
That's
to
a call.
a hand that you think is going to
Showdown.
kill you off.
One pair.
And we are deep as hell here.
No, he didn't because
You know it was a good.
the board could have
you know it
bet.
was a good fold. Just say it. It was a good fold. You know.
I folded
I mean,
jacks.
I
Oh,
don't
I'm over it.
know if it was good or not.
I'm just.
I
I'm
mean,
just
good,
trying to. You know,
good or bad has nothing to do with what I had, though. That's true. Like,
I'm just
Fold.
instigating Brad.
I know you are. It's awesome.
Fold.
You're an instigator. Wyatt was the instigator last night, getting me and Fiending in trouble, turning us against each
yeah,
other.
Feening went back through it and like gave me the
Raise.
PowerPoint presentation on why Wyatt was at fault. He like wrote down notes on exactly what Wyatt said.
Did he really?
And see, he said this, which caused this to happen. And, yeah, he gave me the whole rundown.
Oh, I literally woke up
You know,
laughing
the
this
part
morning.
that made me laugh is when he was going through it again and he pulled out the gun and he was like in
Yes.
fucking gun mode.
Yes.
And he was like,
Yeah.
Yes.
The flop.
we just died.
Oh, that was brilliant. Oh, absolutely brilliant.
Bet. Fold.
It was
No
me-
idea
Call.
he would have fucking
turn.
went off.
Out of nowhere, he just went. Great fun.
Bet.
Yeah, it's like one of those times where you get someone talking, oh, that their mama this and their mama that, and at the end of it all, someone's like, my mama's dead.
Yes.
Same idea.
You know, so pump the brakes. Kind of the same thing.
Yeah, yeah.
I should have stayed
was
in so I could
hilarious.
raise you right there.
Oh, brilliant.
Nice.
I would have
I had
raised
the
you big.
6-7. I was thinking over the 6-7.
You would have rivered me?
Fold.
No, I would have raised you big right there on that
Oh.
turn. I don't know what you would have done with bottom.
Yeah, this is as good a table of poker as we have in this
Ooh, that's
game,
the
I think.
perfect card for me.
This is
Raised
Yeah.
big.
you know,
Fold.
the way people are playing here would
Yeah,
quite
that's
happily
nice.
fit into a casino, a 1-2 game or a 2-5 game. Yeah, these are all people who know what they're doing.
That's a call.
No mugs
Yeah.
at this table.
Player check.
Um,
The flop.
yeah, in fact, if you were playing at this table at a casino, you'd probably look to move elsewhere because
how many times
you're just going to pay the rake in the long run.
had
Check.
5-6,
Sorry.
got into
Check.
pair, and went all the way to
Check.
full house on that.
Or I got shot.
So many times.
Oh, that was a
Bet.
very interesting hand
Yeah.
because there's a lot of 2 pairs there, 6-3 less so, but
That's a
I
call.
counterfeit some of your 2 pairs on the river, and that was the pain in the arse.
Fold. Here's
Yeah.
the turn.
Yeah, and you've got a lot of 7s, 8s, and 9s in there, a few draws.
Check.
Yep.
So yeah, it was good fun.
I swear to God,
Yep.
if you flop the straight
The
again,
river. Check.
Who?
I have to call you anyway. I have 2
Player
pairs.
check.
No,
He's like, well, if you're gonna call.
I made him scared.
That's why you got to do slowly.
You
I already
had a
knew
pair of
what
sixes.
happened when I threw the million out. You started going like this. Fuck,
Yeah.
like you were getting set up, which means you're strong.
Yeah.
But he wasn't.
I was getting set up.
No, he
I
was.
wasn't
He
strong
flopped
at
you a
all.
pair on the
Fold.
flop.
No, he just had
Oh, it
one
was
pair
one
of
pair.
sixes, right?
I just had 1 pair.
He
Oh,
just
I
had a
thought you
pair of
6-3.
No, no.
No,
Oh,
he had
no.
6-7.
Yeah.
Call.
Well, I was open-ended, so
Raise.
that didn't hit.
So this is interesting. We've got call. Funny enough, I've got position on Moozers here. We're going to get a couple of other calls around the table. Moozers is sort of attacking the limpers, but actually could have a reasonably strong range. I think he raises slightly larger with a bigger pair.
Silent,
Yeah,
and
he
you
got
see his
hurt a
lips
little bit.
moving.
Fold. The flop.
Stealth mode.
He didn't get
We
hurt
got a
that much. He
gut
took
shot,
really
which
big
is nice.
from me.
And
and only a
can-
little bit back to Wyatt.
I think this checks round
Gave a decent amount to an F.
because
Oh,
Moozers is
I
checking a
missed
lot
that
of strong
one. Sorry,
hands
I
here.
didn't see that.
The
one.
club's
Sorry.
not a good card. No, I think we're done with this.
Oh.
What was
So-
that?
I didn't see that one.
Flush over.
Moozers sort of thought about it.
Okay. Sorry, didn't see that one.
And there we go. And we're in the lead. And we're going to make a little bet. And occasionally we're going to get called and we're going to be winning.
It owes me.
I can
Fold.
get called by Jack 9. Jack 9 will call. Ace Jack with the ace of clubs. That will probably call.
Showdown.
Yeah.
Great. You win.
Yeah, I suspect that was ace Jack.
Good hand.
Thank you very much.
Fold.
The hell was that?
Player folds.
Well played, Cupid. Nicely done. How did
Fold.
Cupid finish? He finished
Fold.
8 million down, but he played well, really well.
Fold.
Hard to find a gap in Cupid's game at
That's
the moment.
call.
And I limp into
Player
white,
check.
which is asking for trouble.
The flop.
And we flop bottom pair, and we check, and we check, and this is checking all the way to the river. And check, and check, and check, and check. And white's hit a queen.
Player check.
Nope, he hit 9
Check.
on the flop.
Showdown. One pair. Fold. Fold. Fold.
I'm watching
Fold.
Windward's stream constantly. That's why it takes a long time
Oh.
sometimes before I react.
I should turn that on, huh?
Because now I like
I have it
listening
on, I
to
just
the
haven't used it.
comments. Because you learn a lot by the comments,
Check.
Windward.
Here's the flop.
You can learn how to lose 200 million at the moment.
The turn.
I'm undermining my own credibility.
Check.
Yeah.
The river.
Well, yeah. Well,
No.
Call.
The trick is whether you can when you can carry on when you're losing. I think.
Yeah, I know. I mean, look at this. Nobody's in the hand and I hit a full board. It's crazy.
You haven't had quads for about an hour and a half, Anton. What's going on?
Fold.
oh, wow.
Call.
I need my quads, right? Okay, Sen. I'm hitting my quads.
Yeah, yeah, we all know. Fold
No,
every
please,
fold.
I'm gonna
Once you
hit
get quads,
please.
it's down here hill from there, right?
Yeah.
Fold.
Well, I got
Yeah.
2 quads and I got paid
Fold.
I'm
well.
folding.
It's
I'm
like,
folding
I
them,
can't
so
play
I'm
ace
folding
king
my big blind.
anymore.
I
Can't
can't
play
complain.
fucking 10 jack
Call.
anymore.
Yeah. yeah.
Check.
You
Oh,
like
no.
pocket deuces. Okay, I'm good.
I thought-
Check.
The other thing I liked about that stream last night was that in the middle of all that, you casually got a raw flush.
Bet. Player folds.
And it was in the middle of the bit I clipped out as well. I thought it was
Yeah, and I
lovely. Yeah.
didn't bet hard either. 'cause
No,
it's
no.
like,
You wanted to see it,
you
too.
scared
Yeah.
the people away.
Yeah.
You don't, it doesn't
What's up,
record or
squirrel?
something.
Player check.
How you doing, Squirrel?
I'm
I
ringing
was-
the frickin' dinner bell.
haven't seen you for a bit, mate.
Tilting and ready to lose
One
a shitload.
pair.
All right.
Split pot.
Why? What's wrong? Did you meet FP1 or something?
Let the man chill.
Wow, what the hell happened there?
Let the man tilt.
Well,
Sa-
welcome,
Sage advice.
squirrel.
Yeah.
Call.
Welcome. Welcome.
Fold.
Welcome. I'm currently doing my bollocks. If you wouldn't mind undoing my bollocks, that'd be fantastic.
Fold.
386 million on the table,
Call.
just like that.
Yeah.
That's a call.
Oh, right. Okay. We're going to.
The flop.
Not a big deal at all.
Check.
No big deal.
I wonder what Crab is doing.
Check.
Yeah.
We're just going to load up.
Player
Nothing.
check.
Nothing. He's not doing it.
Check.
I think I see. We're just going to load up another 50.
Check.
I'm out of position soon, so he's going to play like a loony. Then that's unfortunate. I'd rather he was on the other side of me, but at the same time,
Player
if
check.
somebody's going to get it in light, this is my chance to get my money back.
Check.
So, yep, we are indeed salivating an F. And we could lose another 100 million, but if we do, so be it. That's why I'm playing correctly bankrolled for this table. I can afford to lose the money. And that's the difference. So, yeah, if you didn't see my stream earlier, I was talking about tilt and
Just
how to
noticed
cope with
I'm
it.
watching this
Oh.
rap video, right? And I see up there it says one
That's a
week
good
ago
call,
it was
then.
released
Showdown.
126
Two pair.
million
The 6
views.
on the river.
Holy shit.
That's amazing. 6 on the river.
That
I
is
have pocket
nuts.
fives.
And
That
we've
is
been
crazy.
running this stream for 10 weeks. We barely get 100 views.
Well, this is
Fold.
Nicki Minaj and 6ix9ine, but I mean, I don't think they would get
Fold.
that many views in fucking 7 days, so
Fold.
it's fucked up.
Well, 176 million.
Oh,
right?
I see. 'Cause
175
she's got
million
fucking
watched
a
it to
little
see
piece
her
of
ass.
tape for her titties, and she's jumping up and down.
Yeah,
That's
I've seen it
exactly
about
what it
20
is.
times.
Oh.
Yeah,
Views
have you?
only.
It's called Trolls.
Fold.
That one.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Fold.
175 million watched it to see her
Player
titties.
folds.
That's it.
Yeah,
Check.
I know. Some guy's
Flop.
like, "Oh, look at those," and then passes it to his friend.
Check.
And his friend. fucking His
My
friend. It's just-
dude, my
They're
girlfriend.
probably jerking off of YouTube video, you know?
My girlfriend showed
Pornhub,
me
bitch.
this
Go
crazy
to Pornhub.
My battery's nearly run out there for a second, but we're all right.
movie on Netflix. It's like
Um, so Squirrel's turned up and he says he's tilting and he's quiet and he's certainly got the demeanour of someone who's tilting. You have to be careful though. You can't just assume they're going to have bad hands. But if someone does that, well, they're going to give their money away. I'd rather it came to me. If that's callous,
Oh,
then that's poker.
about the 50 shades of grey or black or
No,
whatever.
But again, you can't force it.
I think it's called.
So yeah, so I was saying my stream earlier today, I did was about some tips and guidance on how to win money in PokerStars VR, and the first tip was how to manage your mental state, so you don't tilt. And I talk about the different types of tilt.
Fold.
It's on
You
Netflix.
might experience it because you think you're too good for the table and therefore deserve to win, that you are upset that you made a mistake, that you're on a losing streak that you feel never going to end, or you're basically destructively trying to destroy your own bankroll. So yeah, if you do experience problems with tilt, I recommend watching that. It's on this channel as a video, and I'm going to upload it to YouTube in the morning and post it on Discord.
You don't even have to be naked, Antoine. I mean, I'm hard for you right now.
There you go. That's the spirit.
This guy's a god.
That's the quality content I enjoy.
Are on fire.
Yeah.
There you go.
Wow.
Antoine's getting
This
fired up.
hand, I'm
the
getting the
horns know.
quads for sure. It's-
This hand,
That's a
this hand,
call.
someone's gonna be wet,
Call.
and it might be me.
I'm
Oh.
gonna be so
Does that mean
upset
we're
if I don't get the
splashing?
quads. It is going to be quads for sure.
That's a call.
No, sir.
You need to put more on the
Check.
table. Somebody needs to win
The
this, and it may as well be you.
That's very kind, but
Player
It's
check.
gonna be a run the quads.
I got,
Otherwise,
I
it's
got
gonna all
the
go to
best
this
hand
guy.
by far.
Check.
don't mind NF winning it. He's a nice fella.
Who, me?
Yeah. I'm bluffing. You're not.
Yes, baby.
Call.
I ordered pizza and other stuff. Some puffs and
That's
I
a
don't know
call.
what I'm doing.
That's a call.
I
This
placed
is
everybody in too
Weird. Has he got king queen there enough? Has he got queen queen? Has he got flush draws? I mean, obviously my jack's useless if he's got a jack, but he can have some draws there. He's hit a lot of the draws there because he's got king queen a lot of the time. But king queen was one of the hands I was beating. And when one of the hands you were beating suddenly goes ahead of you, it's time to give up. He can still have an ace high flush draw. He can still have.
That's a call.
I don't know what else he can have that I was beating. So my jack is now no good, and we fold.
Call. Fold. The river.
Right.
That's a bad card for two pair, which he can also have. I strongly suspect I'm reluctant to put people on a specific hand, but king queen is slap bang in the range here. He's bluffing with some of the missed flush draws. That bet's small, which implies he wants a call, I think.
And all considering.
That feels like a value bet, and Moozers is in trouble if he's got two pair.
Go ahead, call.
I love NF's commentary over my commentary. It's hilarious.
It's not good. It's not good. Trust me. Fold it.
Vodka's thinking. Vodka's got ace 10. He's got some kind of draw. I think this is a bit of Hollywood, and Vodka's going to fold. Yeah, there we go.
That's a call.
Call from Moozers.
Showdown.
And he had the straight. Oh, at the low end of the straight. So yeah, fair enough. He's got the flush draw, and he hits the straight.
Well,
and he
I
has
know
to-
somebody has the straight.
Yeah. So NF, I don't think that was.
Flop. I kind of not.
I don't know.
I
Interesting.
didn't
Interesting.
have it, I just wanted a flush.
Yeah.
Interesting to
my
see
flush
where
has
the.
been higher than yours.
Player.
Ah, he
I
did
wanted
miss.
the
I was
fucking-
worried
I
about
wanted
that.
He
the
did miss the
fucking
flush. He was betting the missed flush, and
I wanted
be aware of people who will bet the missed.
You're greasy.
The missed
Moser.
flush.
You're very greasy.
That's a call.
You're a greasy player.
Call.
I'll take it.
I wanted a full house. I didn't get it.
Player folds.
If anybody should be sick about that hand, it's him.
Raise.
Very sick.
I don't know
Your
what you
speech
asked.
patterns and motions remind me of Jordan so much. You guys
Call.
remind me of each other all the time.
No way related.
Did you have did you hit a set on the flop or something
Arch
or
nemesis.
The flop.
No, I hit 2 pair on the turn.
also Queen 4 or
hand-
Queen 10
this hand's
also
looking
like me?
This hand's looking very similar to what I just had.
Call.
So I think we would have shopped if he was not in the pot then.
Fold.
Queen 10?
Call.
No, I didn't have
Return.
queen 10.
No, no, no.
Bet.
Oh, there we go.
Call.
I missed what happened there. I was
That's
looking
call.
at a screen, but wow.
River.
Shame we didn't get like the Jack of Hearts on the river there. That would be incredible. Anyway, what we got?
Bet.
Really don't know. That is the bet of a man who is. I mean, he could still have it, but that's the bet of a man who's not really playing optimally.
That's a call. Showdown.
And Ace 3 is at the. Well, that's interesting, but I think Moozers played it correctly. Very good with Ace Jack.
Ouch.
That is a big hit for Moozers. See where he stands now. He's not down there with me because
Player
he's
fold.
35 million.
Fold.
Ah, 'tis but a flesh wound.
Fold. Raise.
I would have liked a good hand there. When someone loses a big hand, it's always good to get in the next hand with them if you've got position.
Raise.
Oh, hello. We have kicked off.
Player folds.
I really.
Call. The flop.
I'm in the middle of a tilt sandwich here.
Bet.
What did I fold?
Fold.
8-10. Yeah, Squirrel's coming hard at this. I can see myself flipping for 100 million in a minute. I think we're going to get some big pots.
Call. Call. Fold. Call.
Not good enough to call, so instead I'm going to 3-bet. Hopefully we get Squirrel to fold, so I'm in position post-flop. We do, so I've now got position in the hand. We've got 2 limpers. They could have been limping to trap Squirrel. They also know I'm aggressive in late position, so it's possible that this is a bit of a trap. These players are good enough to do that. But nevertheless, my 3-bet range is well-defined enough that I should be able to take this down on most flops. Unless NF check raises me out, or limp raises me out of the under the gun position, which is what he appears to be doing.
Raise.
At least I can fold if I want to. 2.3. How much has he got in front of him? So we're getting about 50. We're going to get about 50 to 1 here. So we have to call. If I call though, it rules out me having aces, kings, or queens, and I need to remember that on the flop.
Call.
So the trap happened. I've hit the queen. I need to be very careful. Now, 2 options here. I can bet the queen, hope for action from the draws, or I can check the queen and underrepresent my hand. Now, given that NF is clearly being trappy here, I'm going to check the queen, hope for a blank on the turn.
The turn.
And I've underrepresented my hand. Well, that's not a blank, that's for sure. Vunder's the most likely to have the flush.
Check.
Do I bet here? I think I might be able to squeeze out a bet here because they're going to call me light. So, yeah, if we get raised, we're just going to fold.
Bet.
We are going to get called by the ace of clubs, obviously. He's seriously thinking about a bluff, but he's folding. Sort of turned my hand into a bit of a bluff, a bit of a value catcher, and we really want like the 3 of diamonds on the river, please.
The river.
That's a terrible freaking card. If you could pick a card out of the deck that was the worst one for me, that was it.
This is going to be an interesting pot.
Bet.
Could we have another river? I'm not satisfied with the river that's been presented on this occasion.
Be satisfied either.
I mean, is there a worse card in the deck?
No.
Everything got there, didn't it? I refuse to pay you off this time.
You should take the turn as well.
What? Wow. Thank you, River.
And just to rub that into you, I folded a couple of clubs. So
Wow. What? Jeez.
I got screwed up again.
I had the queen.
Pretty sure I had the jacket.
I had the queen.
I did everything.
no,
everything
I
wrong
had Jack
again.
4 of clubs.
I wanted
Oh.
to
Had
bet
queen
on the
jack
flop.
offsuits,
I
I thought.
didn't.
I thought about
got
playing it
greedy.
just because it was Jack 4.
I wanted to
Yeah.
bet at the turn, but I got.
Raise.
I didn't.
I bet so I could fold. I wasn't even
too
sure.
obvious.
I wasn't sure what my
It was
bet
too
was.
obvious.
That was a ridiculous hand. It's his fault. Since he started it with his ridiculous limp raising. Yeah.
I had ace king. I was looking.
Oh, fair play. Oh, right then. Yeah. Oh dear.
Good until I saw that.
Fold.
Awesome.
The worst, the absolute worst play.
That's incredible. Oh, mine wasn't much better. Don't be.
Check.
That was quality stuff.
Check.
Yeah,
The turn. Check. Check.
completely ruined.
Check. The river.
Thank you, Daxid. Appreciate that. And good to have you as a tankhead whistle.
Bet.
And 5 tier 1 subs.
Player fold.
Superb, mate. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I am. Ooh. I would very much appreciated. I'm delighted to have you all on board in the Tankhead family. You are all my poker children.
Hey, there they are again. I mean,
Moozers. Don't bring up my bad memories, please.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Fold.
You know exactly what we're talking about.
I just remember those threes from somewhere.
Player folds.
Yeah, we're talking about my great fold.
Player
Yeah,
folds.
that's such a great
my,
fold.
my hero fold
Call.
I made.
How long has to pass before
Fold.
I can tell you what I really had?
No,
Call.
I don't know.
I already know it's threes, so you're not getting out.
Player checks.
Yeah, but how long has
The
to
flop.
pass before I can like really look
Check.
you in the eyes and convince you that
checks.
of what I
You-
had?
You did not
Player
raise
bets.
50 million without threes. Like, I don't believe it.
It
Player
wasn't 50
folds.
million. It
It's
was
12.
15.
It was 12.
You
Is that what you,
raised
oh, you
15.
said that. Okay, yeah.
Fold.
You said 15.
It was 12.
Technically
Well, 12 above the three.
You
yeah.
wouldn't have raised 12 without threes. Like, I know you. I don't believe it.
Huh. I think you just really want to know what I had, and that's why you keep saying
No.
that.
It's over.
Player folds.
What if I had eights?
Raise.
The other two eights.
That's
Yes,
even better
That's
hand.
a call.
Yeah.
Call. That's a call.
I didn't. I just, whatever.
It's alright. I'm
Why is
making
that
my money
possible?
back this hand. This hand never loses. I swear.
Fold.
Never
got it again?
loses.
The flop.
Wow.
I'm telling you, this hand does
It
not
looks
Player
like it's going to
check.
lose on this one.
I'll be right back. Just going to take a break for a minute.
Bet. Call. Fold.
After the way Kamikaze came in here, it's pretty much guaranteed he's walking out of here with $1 billion.
Or 0. Either way.
$1 billion.
What happened? What made you want to like just throw your chips out there? I don't get it.
I've been losing them slowly for like 3 weeks. I figure I may as well just fucking do it right.
But when you have
We're
like
doing it live.
you have chips that only 1% of the community has, and you're just what's the
Way less than
Trying to
1%.
I've literally lost 250 million chips and not had a winning session in 3 weeks.
okay.
Yeah.
But you still have that, which is
Yep.
good.
Not for long.
Why don't you bet?
I missed my flush.
I know, but you should have bluffed me.
Would you have
I
spades?
had the ace. I had the ace though.
Turn
No,
a
I
pair
had
of
the
aces
diamonds.
into a bluff.
Oh, me too.
Oh, we should have.
Well,
if we hit
at
that
least-
diamonds,
I had
I had the
10-7.
ace of diamonds. I had the
That's
ace.
a lot
of
of
At least I'm
Crush
happy.
Two
people with
fucking
these
draws there.
Double flush draws.
Yeah.
It's been dealing us.
I'm happy with
Multiple
what I
flush
got out
draws.
of it. It's okay.